Hi there apprentices. Unit 3, Awareness of Converging Digital Technology in the Creative Media Sector then. So, appropriately enough, you need to be conscious and show knowledge of this unique time in history where everything is converging. All these different forms of media are demonstrating synergy and becoming these hybrids. Apps, mobile phones, tablets, computers, all different forms of media such as prints, radio, TV, film, design, all of them are converging, coming together and blending, I suppose, in digital technology in 2017 within the creative media sector. So in this unit, you need to show an awareness and understanding and application in a couple of the outcomes cases of how things are changing. So this is a level 3 unit, credit value of 6, and around about 40 hours is what they recommend you dedicate to this particular assignment. So let's have a look at the aim of the unit. So as I mentioned, you need to show an awareness of the actual current use in 2017 of digital technology and how you could actually use it to exploit this opportunity as well and reach new audiences, because that's the main reason of this, and generate greater revenue. So how could it be used to actually create money for your company, to be used to actually create a bigger audience in particular? So here are the learning outcomes then that we need to be looking at throughout this unit. So part 1 asks you to understand the use of digital technology within the creative media sector. So for this, what you're going to need to do is describe, first of all, the uses of different digital technology. So what that means is you need to show me how digital technology is currently used within the industry. So for this, consider how mobile phones are used, consider how tablets are used. Describe, outline, give examples at a push, but really describing is literally you telling me how digital technology is used within the creative media sector. So how is the use of mobile technology, the use of the web, the use of apps, the use of social media, the use of video, the use of audio, how is it used within the creative media sector? And what relationships are there between the different industries within the sector? So how do the TV, the film, the radio, the design, marketing, advertising, social media industries, how do they combine now? Because in the rise of convergence and synergy, we see everything blend together. So tell me how different uses of digital technology are used within the sector, and in particular, how does this help different industries, different aspects of the media industry to combine and build relationships? Maybe give a couple of examples of different areas such as the BBC or Sky or Pixar or Apple maybe. How do they use digital technology? And how has this built relationships between the different areas within a different company that shows every aspect of media? Might be a good way to do that, particular bit of criteria. For 1.2, you need to describe intellectual property and copyright issues. So for this, define what it is first of all. Intellectual property, really useful, particularly if you're going freelance. Your intellectual property is so precious, making sure you're protected and don't get taken advantage of. Define it, understand what it is, and then talk about what issues there are related to anything you could create online, anything digitally in terms of a graphic or video maybe, or photography work. What is intellectual property? Is it an original piece of work that you've created maybe? What copyright issues are there? How do you protect your work? How do you make sure no one steals it? Think about things like watermarks and things such as trademark issues. Think about things like copyright free and using other people's work as well. Interesting terms that you need to be conscious of. So demonstrate this knowledge. So for outcome 2, it says understand the implications of converging technologies. So the implications, the knock-on effects, the consequences of technology all blending together. So look at a particular as it says here, particular creative media industry for this part. So for this, explain what is meant by converging technology. Everything's blending together now. So tell me what this phrase means, converging technology, the coming together of all these different disparate forms of technology to actually improve things. Think of your mobile phone. It's not just a telecommunications device, it's a web browser. It's a screen. It's something you could use to take photographs and videos, to communicate with people on the other side of the world. Converging technology, what is meant by it? Explain means give an example, by the way, as well, to back up your point. 2.2, explain the impact of convergent technology on the workforce. Has it made things more streamlined? Does it mean that we now can stay in contact and multitask and do more things, perhaps? So it says here a specific creative media industry. So look at something specific, such as marketing, advertising, video production. Pick a specific creative media industry and explain the impacts of the last 5-10 years of converging technology on the workforce. How has it changed things? Using the cloud maybe to collaborate, has that made things easier? Impact of converging technology. Outcome 3. Know how converging technology has been exploited to reach new audiences and generate money. So 3.1, let's have a look. First part asks you to describe the changing expectations of audiences and consumers. Right, you millennials get a bad rap for being a little bit impatient sometimes, needing things instantaneously. Is that a consequence of Web 2.0 and the fact you can now order everything at one click and get it hours later? Maybe the audience's expectations have changed. In fact, you can now have bespoke, personalised, on-demand everythings in the media industry. So expectations have changed. The way we work has changed. The way we're constantly connected means our expectations and consumers' expectations have changed. So how has that affected expectations of the audience and the consumers? Tell me. 3.2. Describe examples of how ideas for multi-platform content have been used to reach new audiences and generate revenue. So here, consider a case study example. So when it says examples, I'm looking for actual examples. So consider things such as, this might go horribly wrong, but I'm going to try it, multi-platform content. So BBC, for example, when I was there doing some work for them in the summer, it talks about their 4-screen policy, at least 4-screen policy. So their 4-screen policy meant everything needs to be available on tablets, mobile devices, computer screens, so you've got your laptops as well, as big screens, or television screens as they called them. So the 4-screen policy, all content has to be accessible on each of these. If it isn't accessible on each of these, then it isn't fit for purpose in the modern convergent technological universe we find ourselves. So, for 3.2, describe examples of how ideas for multi-platform content have been used to reach new audiences and generate revenue. Maybe look at a particular show or a particular game, or perhaps consider things like Steam for gaming, things like music and how it's available on different multi-platform ways of reaching an audience. Multi-platform, a phrase that you're going to see a lot of in your careers. 3.3, describe examples of commissioning processes and funding opportunities in relation to converging technology. So pitching, crowdsourcing funding, collaborating with incubators and online startups to get new apps and new websites going. Can you find an example of the commissioning processes of new ideas in 2017? Research it, find a case study example of how people find funding opportunities now in 2017 for new ideas about converging technology. Consider how Snapchat started and things like this. 4, be able to plan a research exercise to test an idea for exploiting converging technology. So in your jobs, I want you to explain opportunities that are there for you to converge technology and to try a new idea. Find an opportunity and explain what the opportunity is. Is it to make an app maybe? Is it to create some social media? Is it to actually make a website that brings together different photos, videos, audio, examples of what your company does? What opportunities are there? Because there are in your company to converge technology. Exploit this opportunity. Then research and plan a test for said opportunity. So some notes, some sketches, some ideas, some doodles, a video, a podcast of you explaining and thinking and showing some research and thoughts into this opportunity. Lastly, try to pick up this, but I missed it. Let me try it again. Nope. Come on, mate. There we go. Carry out, plan, test, and evaluate and present the findings. Actually do it. Actually do the thing you set out to do. The opportunity you mentioned in 4.1, the thing that you researched and planned in 4.2, actually carry out that thing, that test. Maybe make a beta app, maybe make a website, maybe make and run the social media, and then evaluate it. How did it go? Reflect upon it. Present your findings for me for 4.3. That, my friends, is what you need to do for Unit 3.